Hello, everyone. Curtstride here. I got a question. Why is it so hard for so many parents and teachers to get these kids to do as they told? Because I just think too many adults have followed some very bad advice. I'm going to Walmart, and this is the local Walmart store, and this woman beat the heck out of her child. I mean, it was just crazy. But, back in the 24 5 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, it was probably an essential thing. But nowadays, everybody's got their nuisance as to why. It got political to a point now. If you hit a child, you probably go to jail. You ever had those situations like that happen to you? I mean, let's be honest. When was the last time you heard a child referred to as obedient? It's probably been a while. But, that's too bad because they say the best research tells us that obedient children are happy kids, right? And for any experience that a parent is going to have, you'll think an obedient child will be a happy child, right? Now, since all parents want their kids to be happy, the question becomes, how do you get a child to obey? That's what I'm trying to say. Is there some trick to a child to obey what you're trying to say? Well, I think there's probably a lot of parents who think so. They believe that proper discipline to a child is a matter of using the right methods, right? Techniques and strategies. One would probably argue that today's kids are probably more obedient than these kids several generations ago. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know about you. But I think the reasons those methods and techniques don't work at that time is that proper discipline is not a matter of proper methods. It's a matter of proper attitude. I say the word attitude a lot on the part of the parent. Okay, let me explain. Let's say for a week I observed the classroom of let's say a school teacher who has a reputation of being a very, very good teacher in her school. Now, she has fewer behavior problems than any of her friends. Now, what is she doing? She's making her expectations clear, which means she's communicating in a simple kind of like just basic sentence. She doesn't use 50 words when she could use just 10, right? Now, the more words you use to communicate with your expectations, I think the less confident you sound. Like less is more. Now, let's just say she had her instructions to the students with phrases like, I want you to, or it's time for you to. And she'll probably say, it's time for you to take off your math books and turn to page whatever, however, as opposed to let's take out our math books and turn to a certain page, okay? This particular teacher probably does not explain the motives in her instructions as to her students. Why? Probably because she knows that, and let's just be honest with you, explanations are going to invite arguments anyway. The parents, whenever they're going to tell me they're dealing with an argumentative child, it's like these people are kind of explaining themselves. It's kind of like they tell their child why they want to pick up his toys, for example. And the child will argue because, or they'll probably argue because you can't pick apart an explanation. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you don't explain yourself when you get a introduction to a child, then the child, being a child, is almost surely going to ask for one. He's going to ask why or why not. I know you guys are familiar with that. At that point, I mean, get ready for a surprise. It's as simple as this. Your answer, I think, should be because I said so. That's it. You can use those 4 words and it won't psychologically damage your kids. I promise you it won't. Probably on the opposite side, it's a simple but powerful affirmation of the legitimacy of your authority. Okay, you got to kind of say it calmly though. Don't scream it at all because nothing good is ever accomplished by a person who screams. You know what I mean? I got to get something out of the trunk of the car. Last but certainly not least, when giving instructions to a child, do not do this, okay? And I repeat, do not do this at all. Don't bend down on a child's level. You understand? Getting the child to do what he or she is told is a matter of looking and acting and talking like you have complete confidence in that authority that you may have, like bending down to a child's level don't look authoritative anyway. It looks, in fact, like you're the one that's moving away from being down on your knees in front of a king. It's like that one chance of being that way. Okay, being subservient, being a king, bowing down to a king of a child. So it's like I know you read somewhere that you should get down on a child's level. You know what I mean? When you talk to them. Well, all I can tell you is that there's a lot of real bad parenting advice out there from people. But that's just one example. I would think if you speak to a child from an upright position, that causes them to look up to you. And that is a good thing for them and for you both, if you decide to do things like that. So, get yourself together, get to a point of understanding that, kids, if you talk to them a certain way, you can make them look, make them look like they're important, but at the same time, your authoritativeness could be as important as well. Now, in the end, when it comes to strategies and respect and admiration of a child, you don't have to go to no Walmart and beat nobody up just to claim who you are. It's a certain way that you have to talk to them. It's a certain element on how you talk to them. It applies to probably adults too, and relationships and business. But the child mind is so different. So you got to ask yourself, how much can they take and how much can I take with that? I always think that it's the way you talk to a child. It's much more significant than the way you discipline a child, because talking can create something that then discipline can kind of administer and kind of come down some to a certain point. So all I got to say is do what you can to love that child, but at the same time, you got ways of disciplining them, but show the love that you show as far as attentiveness and carelessness on how you are with a child, okay? Because we don't want to have any more situations than it is. If they want to stay home and play video games, that's fine. If they want to read a book at home, that's fine. Don't sit them out there to do anything crazy, and make sure when they're young, you are on them real, real hard. And this Walmart thing, I mean, that's just normal. That's contrary. That's probably anywhere it should go. But I think it's the way that you treat your child in a certain way. And love them just like you love your own self, okay? I just wanted to throw that out. And just, love them, but don't let them take them over with you, okay? Don't ever be on their level. Be on the level of you being the king, and not so much the king of everything, but the king of love and respect. And those kids are going to follow you. Watch what happens when you grow up. Curtstride speaking with another Curtstride series. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Take care. God bless. And hey, have a wonderful day. Black and innocent child it is. Don't ever do the Walmart thing. You're probably going to see that a lot anyway. Take care and God bless. Have a good day.